Hi, love. Welcome to Co-Creative Healing Journey. My name is Greta, and I am a healer posting spiritual content here on the channel. Welcome to new subscribers. So happy to have you here. Welcome back, old subscribers. So happy to have you here. And for anyone and everyone watching, I hope that this reading will serve you in your journey of spiritual growth and evolution. And today we are looking at life purpose, so it should do that. We are looking at your life purpose, and because this is a general reading, we will be really talking about a way of approaching life purpose, a kind of path that you are on with regards to life purpose, and bringing through perspectives, ideas, guidance to really help you where you are here and now on your in your life, in your journey right here, right now. So, love, there are three options. Timestamps are in the description box, and I'll be seeing you in your reading in just a bit. Hi, love. Hello to those of you who chose the first option. Welcome to your life purpose reading. And let's look at the messages the Spirit has for you. We've got an overall energy of Chakana, time to cross the threshold, with the major arcana number 2, High Priestess with Goddess Isis. We have a 10 of Pentacles with fruition. We've got a Queen of Swords and a King of Pentacles. We've got Pure White Dragon from Orion. We have Soulmates, Breaking Trail, and we have got Abundance. So I love this. This is a very, very beautiful message. Love, your life purpose, the group of you, right, who are watching this, your life purpose is to break the mold. It is for you to go beyond the status quo, escape the status quo for some of you. So this would be escaping a legacy, escaping a pattern, escaping something also in your ancestry, in society, a way in which things are done and how things are necessarily going to unfold. For some of you, because we have the 10 of Pentacles, we have the King of Pentacles, we have Abundance, it is very clearly to escape a pattern or a heredity or even just a societal dynamic of poverty. This is speaking to, for example, being in a family, in a social group, in a race, in a gender where people are born poor and then they move through their lives and they stay poor. And that's how it's been generation after generation. That's how it's supposed to be. That's what the social order is moving towards. And your life purpose is to break that mold, is to step beyond it. So that's very specific with the abundance aspect here. In a more general sense, for some of you, and you're also going to know, with the Queen of Swords and the High Priestess, it's for you to use your intelligence, use your wisdom, use your knowing of how energy works, but also a bright idea and a very bright spark of intelligence, a bright idea, an innovation, and to bring that through in a way where you break the status quo and become incredibly wealthy as you do. So those are the two main options that I see to break a legacy or to break the status quo by bringing through a new idea, a new perspective. For some of you, breaking the status quo with soulmates is also going to be about creating new relationships, new families, new ways of loving, new ways of interacting, even maybe a new if you're a boss, we have boss energy here with the King of Pentacles, to be a boss in a different way, to have a different relationship to people and to manifest that, realize that, embody that, bring that out into the world. So those are different options. But at the core of it, that's where we're going to go now, is that this is a path that is about moving beyond. It is about breaking the status quo. And with the breaking trail here, this is something that you're already doing, and I feel like this is something that you've done your whole life. So you've always been in some way, shape, or form different. You've always been how do I put this, the expressions, the black sheep, or you've just been at odds with the way that things are done, the status quo, the norms in some way, shape, or form, and really without trying to be. It's just been part of who you are. It's been part of how you go about things. So one way to look at that is that you are you're a transformer. Effortlessly, you bring through the change and the transformation. Another way to look at that, and that would be through society's eyes, is that you are a black sheep, that you are an outsider, an outcast, a weirdo. You probably have been labeled very, very heavily with this, but there is an ending to that is coming in. I'm seeing it with the Queen of Swords you're going to gain clarity on this. You're going to gain clarity on your own nature, on who you are and how you're made for a purpose. There's a very specific reason why you've been you, and I feel like you've really not been able to help being you. So if you've tried to stop being a weirdo, maybe you got even weirder, right? Again, seen through the eyes of the people who are labeling you. If you tried to become more conventional, then you know, maybe started out well, but then inevitably it just became completely unconventional. This is exactly something that you can't help, and you're becoming very, very clear on that. And with the butterfly here, there's this transformation in what you're perceiving, because what you're going to start perceiving is King of Pentacles, that there's something about your weirdness, your weirdness, right? We understand one another. There's something about what sets you apart that actually is very lucrative, certainly, but it's also something that just can help you have a really, really good life and attain to the best things in life, and also have just a better earthly experience. There's a form of mastery here with the King of Pentacles. There's a mastery over, again, what it means to have a family, what it means to go to school, what it means to be in society, what it means to be human. It depends on the level at which you're meeting this kind of prejudice, judging, labeling, let's say it in general. Wherever you're meeting that level, you're finding out that your own authentic iteration is actually something that is a way for you to gain mastery, to gain, and even to maybe surpass the people who are telling you that you're weird, right? So one example, for example, the thing that came to me with this weird, I was reading this book about astrology, and in the book she explains that Aquarians are weird and weird. I have a sun in Aquarius, and Aquarians are weird and so on, and again, that labeling, right? And I was like, we are not weird. I don't know what she's talking about. Let me go wash my windows now. I closed the book, got my bucket, water, and I started to wash my windows. And as I was outside, I was looking around, and I noticed that everybody else was asleep. All the other windows were dark. And of course they were. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. But it seemed like a perfectly logical time for me to wash my windows. And then I realized, oh, that's what she was talking about. That's the weirdness. But the thing about it is that my windows got washed. It works for me. It's a way of, or at least back then, it was a way of flowing and of existing that worked for me. My windows got washed. And it's the same way with you. There's something about your weirdness, your peculiarity, your singularity, let's put it that way, your uniqueness, that actually makes you very well equipped for some form of arena, some form of space, some form of community, everything that the King of Pentacles kind of starts speaking to, some form of industry, some form of business, some form of position. You're actually ideally suited for it because of your uniqueness. And when you understand that, that's why Spirit wants to talk to you. When you really, 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 really get it, we have the pure white dragon from Orion, transforms your ascension knowledge into pure wisdom. Process what you know, act with truth and honesty, let your wings of light grow and expand. You're going to be able to take yourself and your life to the next level. And that's your life purpose. Your life purpose is essentially to be weird. Right? We can put it in that way. To be whatever they label you to be, but to be yourself, to be unique, and to bring through a very unique energy and very unique performance, approach, idea, way of being in the world that you can only fully access when you own that energy, when you own whatever they are saying about you, when it's not something that stings you, when it's not something that you're fighting against, that you're trying to deny or minimize about yourself, then you're really going to be able to see what it is, and it really is going to help you, and it is really going to guide you, and it's even going to inform basically what you're supposed to do with it, right? So for example, once again, to give you an example, let me look at myself. The spirit is I'm trying to look for something. The spirit is just bringing me back to the fact of drawing cards. Now, drawing cards is something I would never ever have done, and I really resisted it. I actually went to intuitive reading school because I thought it was healing school, and it took me 2 months to realize that I'd done some kind of cognitive thing to allow myself to be there. But by the time I realized that I was in fact in intuitive reading school, then it was too late. I loved it, and I stayed with it. But I didn't like it, and I would never consciously have pursued it at all, because of what I thought about myself and how it was labeled and what would other people think and so on and so forth. But really, it's really just within ourselves, and that's what Spirit really, really wants you to know. It's about abundance. I'm grateful for the abundance nature and the universe provide in my life. You see how this person here, she has this water running out from her hair. It's who she is. And abundance is always an aspect of who we are. It's always a part of who we are. It's always a feature of us. It's something that we contain and then we manifest it in the world. And you have something in abundance, a talent, a gift, an ability, a perspective, something that is just a part of you. It's part of your nature. You see this lady? It's literally, she's got antlers growing out of her head. It could not be illustrated more clearly. It's your nature. It's how you were naturally made. And you were made to be this way for a purpose. And Spirit is saying that that's actually also part of your life purpose, is precisely to be someone who's able to own that so completely, wholly, and fully. To own who you are, and then to manifest it in the world brightly for all to see, allowing everybody to cross the threshold from an era where, for one reason or another, we thought that it was allowable to suppress who we naturally are in order to fit in order to pursue certain aims in society, that you're also here to break the mold on that. It's just that, when we see famous people or something like that, they may break the mold, but they may break the mold to do things in the same way, right? They break the mold, but they're still in Hollywood. They break the mold, but they still become rich and buy yachts. You're intended to break the mold in a way that is really going to spin heads and not make sense and go, huh? And people are really going to question, and people are really going to rethink. It's like you break the mold in a way where you illustrate why we have to move beyond the status quo, why the status quo isn't working, or isn't, the word that's coming through is respectable, isn't something that we should guide ourselves by, because at the end it just ends up being a limitation. It would be, for example, if you start a business and you're working your business, but you have got this idea that is about working a business with donations, for example. So you offer a service and then you take in donations, and then you become incredibly rich. And then it just illustrates the notion in the status quo of the system of how we do business, that is so much about risk management and not trusting people, and you have to verify credit, and you have to do this and you have to do that. It doesn't mean that those things aren't sound. It just means that they can be limiting and that they're not necessary. We just assume it has to be in this way. You have to have fixed prices and you have to charge this much, or otherwise people are not going to reward you. Well, you could start a business that proves that wrong. And there are businesses that exist that are based on donations and that do very well. So it's it would be like that. Your way of succeeding questions the status quo. Another thing, for example, would be to be in a same-sex union and then to have a child or raise a child, and you raise that child and that child thrives, and then it kind of questions the status quo, that a family has to be one mother, one father, and it has to work in this way. Well, it didn't for you, and you work it in a way for you that makes sense, that fits your energy, and that at the same time just blatantly illustrates that there are limitations in considering that a family is just this or just that, and so on and so forth, right? And it doesn't matter what beliefs you may have, right? If anyone watching this, if you believe, well, that's how a family should be, and that's not something that you should do. It doesn't matter what you and I believe. It doesn't matter what other people believe. It's about you. It's about your own path. and your own clarity and truth about your energy and how you want to live. And these two cards are saying that they are reiterating this message. The High Priestess is this energy of understanding how energy works and applying that and working energy consciously. And so this is very saying, if you work that energy consciously, the energy of what makes you unique, the energy of what makes you again a freak, a weirdo in the eyes of others, of society, of your group, you know, wherever it's coming from, your industry, wherever it's coming from, if you work that energy consciously, it will bring you so much. And more than anything, we have a fruition, 10 of Pentacles, that looks like someone who's just living their best life. You know, she's dressed the way that she wants to, she has tons of bangles, she's got the fruition, the harvest. But it's a card that's really talking about like being your own harvest, and how that's the most important harvest, is that you're going to harvest, you're going to create, manifest, realize your own true self. And then it comes through as a 10 of Pentacles, and it comes through with the King of Pentacles, also an abundance, talking about you just experiencing a lot of abundance, prosperity, a lot of success on that path. It is literally the path of highest success for you, this life purpose, that if you pursue it in a way where you're honoring your energy and you're transcending some form of threshold, some form of limiting dynamic, belief, interaction, relationship, circumstance, if you're able to transcend that, to be true to yourself and to work your energy consciously, you will come to fruition. You will break the mold. You will break the the word that's coming through is like break the curse, that you also in this pile are curse breakers. And again, looking at your legacy, 10 of Pentacles is a card of legacy. This is also something that you would pass on to your own children, if you have them, to younger people in your family, and so on. And of course, future generations throughout humanity, because that's how it works. Okay, so finally we have soulmates. And soulmates is speaking to how do I put this? It's speaking to a sense of alienation that you have, because very often, or that you might have, right? Let's not always assume things. It's a reading, but still. And that's part of the message. It's like, question any sense of alienation. Question any sense of being off, or being weird, right? Is it really you? Is it society? Is it really you? Is it your workplace? Is it really you? And so on, right? Question that. Don't take it for granted. But if you have had these experiences where you felt alienated, ostracized, mocked, ridiculed, belittled, disempowered because of this specific and unique feature and way of going about things, then Spirit is saying don't worry, because you are going to find places where what you bring is the missing key to what they need. What you have is something that someone is looking for. What you embody, who you are, your energy, is something that the world needs. Again, because we are talking about the evolution of the planet, and we are talking about that higher level dynamic. So at a higher level, it's needed in the grand scheme of things. It's part of the puzzle. And when you bring that, it's your life purpose to bring your part of the puzzle. But in more specific sense, there are people, there are customers, there are friends, there are lovers, there are clients, there are people who are looking for what you have to offer, and they are going to be part of this abundance that you generate. But you have to come as yourself. You have to own this energy, and then you have to allow it to come back to you. You have to allow it to give back to you, and it will so incredibly plentifully. 10 of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, and abundance. Spirit could not say it any more clearly, and that's part of the clarity that you also need to engender, and it's part of the energy that you need to work. You're not put upon, you're not belabored, you're not even a rebel, you're not any kind of these again labels or stereotypes, right? You're just you, and you just have to do what you are here to do on this planet. And if you stay true to that and escape all of those dynamics, all of those okay, so because Spirit wants me to go into that. So what happens is that there's the system, and there is the system that perpetrates itself and does what it needs to do to stay this system, to stay the status quo. But part of the system is the rebel energy. So the system endures by, because it knows that at some level it will be questioned, and so it endures by kind of integrating that resistance into itself, so that the people who are against the system, right, those opposing forces, people who want to break and burn and destroy the system, they really are part of it, and they act like kind of pressure. They relieve the pressure, and then people who aren't central adherents of the system, they can go into those areas. But the point that Spirit is making is that if you are engaging with this energy where you're thinking that to transcend, to cross the threshold, is to oppose, is to break, is to burn, is to take a very well, the word is violent, but I don't want to make it specifically violent, but a very conflictual, there you go, conflictual approach to transcendence, or to your role and what you're supposed to be here. And in the same way, if you're feeling attacked, if you're feeling offended, if you're feeling belittled, then you're still in the dynamics of the process, in the dynamics of the system. And Spirit really wanted to make that point, that transcending it is really about doing away with all of that, finding you and your energy and who you are and what you're here to do on this planet, and then going for it 100%. And that's the freedom. So love, takeaway for this reading, we've got ancient power mysteries. And it says, the oracle guides you to honor the power of your voice, whether through spoken or sung words, or through what you write, speak about, or stand for symbolically. You have a potentially very powerful healing voice, and you're guided to recognize the responsibility that you have for what you proclaim through your voice. Wow. So you may take that very literally for some of you. And in general, the voice represents the authenticity, the self, right? The uniqueness. We all have a unique voice. We are all ourselves. And so this is for you to own your voice. Again, if your uniqueness, if it is something that you have to say, something to speak about, or what you stand for, what you embody, own that. Take responsibility for it. Own it. It's not going away. And Spirit is telling you, if you go with it, if you let it lead you, it will lead you to so much prosperity. So love, that was your reading. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that it has served you. I am sending you lots of love, wishing you all the best, blessing you, bless your life purpose. And if you would like to know more about me, information is in the description box. If you would like to know more about my work and the co-creative healing system that I have invented, information is also in the description box. Lots and lots and lots of love. And as always, may you be blessed always and in all ways. And so it is. Bye. Hi love, hello to those of you who have chosen the second option for your life purpose reading. This is an amazing reading. I'm kind of blown away. Did not see that one coming. But let's move through the cards, and then I will tell you. We've got Pacha Karmic Nourishment of the Soul, Major Arcana number 21 with Gaia. We have a Six of Cups here with Pleasure, Major Arcana number 10 with the Wheel of Fortune, Major Arcana number 2 with the High Priestess. We have Water Dragon, Co-Create. Upside down, we have Wondrous Universe, and we have God Integration. And wow, once again, okay. So love, without further ado, your life purpose is to thrive in this world as a soul. But you are not just any old soul in order to do this. We do have 1, 2, 3 major arcana, which to me is soul level energy. We have got master number 44, which is the master number of systems. We have the wondrous universe energy here, walk in beauty, which is the beauty way. So there's a lot of energy in co-create. Oh my God, there's so much energy that is showing, pointing to who you are at a soul level. And so who you are at a soul level is key for the kind of life purpose that you have in this life. With Gaia card here, which is sorry. I got completely distracted. Sorry. With the Gaia card here, because this rock is my cutting through obstacles rock, right? So it just wanted to speak to this energy, which is an energy of soul completion of soul cycles. And so with this energy, you have been around the block as a soul. You already have moved through a completion of some sort, learning a lot of lessons, gaining the lot of growth that you have. Now, this can be in this life. It definitely is in past lives. That's definitely coming through. Depending on your belief system, that's something you align with or not. But even in this life, having learned a lot of lessons, and because you've learned your lessons, you've paid your dues, you've done what you had to do, basically. Now with the Six of Cups, you get to have the easy life. You get to have a pleasurable earthly experience this time around. You get to have a path of least resistance also with the Six of Cups. And that's very, very important, because we have here the High Priestess. And the High Priestess for me is a card that talks about knowing how to work energy consciously and, of course, applying it. And so we have here an energy of you as a soul having learned lessons, accumulated a lot of knowledge, a lot of energy, a lot of spiritual power, and it's now time for you to have an easy way. But we have the High Priestess, the knowing of how to work that energy into an easy way, which brings you the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune, if you look at it here, is a wheel where you have, it represents, well, a lot of things actually, but also the movement of life and the ups and downs of life. And the devil is when we're completely down, we're in hell, or an experience that feels like we're in hell. The monkey is here when we're trying to hold on and things are moving and shifting. And then the Sphinx is this part of us that's always on top, and that's where you are destined to be. That's your life purpose. Your life purpose is to live as if you are continually on top, but not from a place of I don't know, living in a penthouse apartment in the biggest building in the world, overlooking the most expensive in the world. You know, that definition of success is being continually on top from applying the wisdom of your soul in this life in order to get yourself everything that you need. Nourishment of the soul. That's what your life purpose is. It's for you to thrive as a soul, for you as a soul to have everything that you want, that you need, that you deserve to have, so that you can live a life that is in alignment with your soul purpose. Now, why would that be necessary? Well, we do live in a world that has an expression called selling your soul for. So it's basically that. It's like this lifetime, you're intended not to sell your soul for anything. You're intended to just kind of leverage your soul gifts and abilities to create a lifetime of tremendous nourishment. Now, with Co-Create Upside Down, I can feel a bunch of you going like, yeah, that has not been my life so far. And this is what Spirit is saying. Spirit is saying that it's a process. It's something you have to reawaken within yourself. It's something that you have to remember, redevelop, again, reawaken. It's something that is dormant, and that it is your life purpose to redevelop it. You see there's an egg here with lots of potential, and the egg has the same spots as this either leopard or cheetah, and so the potential is for the egg to become this cheetah, but it goes through wisdom with the owl here. It's not immediate. It's not an immediate path, but it is one that you're going to realize. And with Wondrous Universe, you don't even have to do anything. I don't even understand how this message can be. But good for you. You don't have to do anything to reawaken it. You just have to walk in beauty. Wondrous Universe, you just have to go about your life. And Wondrous Universe and the Wheel of Fortune is talking about how Spirit is actually going to, throughout the course of your life, is going to activate things, make things happen, so that you remember and regain this lost knowledge, which, by the way, the High Priestess is silent and represents, arcane, lost, even protected knowledge. So this is not something that you're necessarily going to be able to share with others, that you're going to be able to explain. But it is something that you're going to be able to work and to do. So maybe you actually have already an amazing ability to work timing, to understand timing, to work seasons, to work the flow of time and energy, and an amazing ability to make things happen, because the High Priestess is also amazing at manifesting. And it's rarely talked about actually, but the High Priestess has this energy of manifesting through attraction, the energy of the moon also, but she brings things to her without effort. but again, through working this energy, it would be similar to, for example, let's say that what would it be? Let's say that the time and place for every single event in the world, right? Then you could very easily win the lottery or bet on horses or just work it to your favor in order to be incredibly wealthy. You would know when to launch a product, you would know when to buy something, hold off, and then the next day it's on sale for 100%, like that. It would be like that you would be able to work it to your benefit, and that's the energy that you have. And Spirit is saying that is going to be awakened within you this lifetime in a way that is completely beyond your ability. Wheel of Fortune, there's ups, there's downs, there's things where you're holding on, so you don't even know as you're moving into this space where you're going to arrive at a space where you're always going to be on top, no matter how the wheel turns, and everything always works out for me is how I put it. It's that space. Everything always works out for me, and you're going to be able to see it, and you're going to make everything work to your benefit. Absolutely. But the way that you get there is through events and activation and interaction and experiences, and some of them very, very difficult, and some of them where you really feel like they're destabilizing and they're bringing a lot of change and transformation. But all of that is going to be done in order to activate you, and Spirit is going to do that little by little. You're going to get activated, and with the integration card, you're going to integrate it. I combine body, mind, and soul to lift all of humanity into a new dimension. You're going to go through experience after experience. You have to think of it like this, or you can't think of it like this. It would be every person that you engage with, where it's significant, and this is an event the Spirit has orchestrated to awaken you, right? You're integrating in that person, in that situation. People are giving you back a piece of your soul. They're giving you back a piece of your power. They're handing it to you. They're activating your co-creative abilities. This situation, that circumstance, this person, this opportunity, this possibility, it all brings you something, up or down, good or bad, positive, negative, the filters that we apply to make sense of our reality, right? All of that is part of you being activated through integration. Now, again, integration, right beneath the High Priestess, integration happens when we grow in awareness. So when we gain and extract the wisdom from what has happened, from the events, from the places. And you can actually do this, Spirit is saying. You can look back on your life if you haven't integrated something, right? So if something still bothers you, if something still hurts you, something is still recurring, still important, then you still have something, some part of you, some part of your power that's still in that situation and circumstance, so you can work it post haste and integrate from it. And you're never going to be done doing this. This is your soul, and your soul is just so expansive. So you could do this, theoretically your whole life. You could be on top and still be integrating more wisdom, more of your soul power, of your soul abilities, in order to create even more abundance. And again, the soul doesn't have the same perspective as we do. So it's not about gaining stuff or creating stuff or manifesting stuff. It's about as much of yourself being present in you, embodied, living, and being nourished by your experiences as possible. This is really important that you understand the nourishment aspect, because you can't bring this amount of light into the world, into your body, and still live the same way. And so you're also going to have a lot of shifts and a lot of cycles where you're changing what you eat, how you go about things, maybe your circle of friends. It's always going to be for a purpose. It's always going to be for a loving reason. But as you grow and evolve, necessarily, you're also going to experience a lot of change and transformation. And it's very important that you extract the wisdom from that. And this could be like, maybe you have a new circle of friends every couple of years. Maybe you have, friendships that never last very long, and so on and so forth. That's because your soul keeps growing and evolving, and needs higher, truer, more loving, more pure nourishment. And very often other people won't be able to keep up. They won't be able to, because they're not growing and evolving at the rate at which you are. And your soul is always going to prioritize that evolution and that growth, and especially the rate of it, the speed of it, as opposed to maybe your comfort, or as opposed to maybe your it's coming through as attachment, certainly, but maybe also your preferences, right? Maybe you really like that person, or you really like that circle, you really like that space, but your soul, and part of the wisdom that is also for here you to grow as you look at your life, at the events of your life, past, present, and future, because this is a dynamic that will be always be present in your life, is that for you to understand your soul. It's also a part of the wisdom that you are to gain. Now, this card says, Water Dragon helps you flow easily around obstacles. Christ light and love are flowing. Develop your psychic abilities, go with the flow. Now, psychic abilities, there we go. Okay, psychic abilities is not of the soul, it's actually of the human being. That's why everybody on earth is psychic, no matter how much the soul is developed. But it is talking about developing your psychic, right? Your psychology, your personality, so that you can understand and be at ease and be at peace with this. And that's going to help you flow easily around obstacles. Meaning, what this is saying is that if you have a path like this, and you do, right, that's the message, and you try to hold on to things that have to go, then you're going to create a lot of pain for yourself. And co-create upside down is actually speaking to that also, that there are things that you may want in life that you've been trying to manifest, you've been trying to bring in, you've been trying to go for, and it's almost like, well, there's no reason why it shouldn't work. Why isn't it working? Well, you're not intended to co-create this. The universe is saying no to. The universe will not co-create this with you. The wheel won't turn in that direction because it's not nourishing for your soul. And so it's also very, very important that you, at a personal level, at the level of your personality, that you understand this, that you learn, and that you kind of gain wisdom as you're going through these experiences, so that you can learn to realize and to recognize when it's happening. When am I going for something that's not working because it's not time, it's not divine timing, but it will come? And when am I trying to go for something that is not coming and not working because it is not what my soul wants for itself in this lifetime? And the more you learn how to see things in that way, in that perspective, the more peace you're going to bring to yourself, the more you're really going to have this experience. Like, oh, thank God. Thank God that relationship ended. Oh, thank God this left my life. Thank God I'm free now to do A, B, C, or D, right? Thank God for this change. Thank God for this challenge. This is exactly how it needs to be. But not because you're being toxic positivity or something like that, but because you're seeing it through the eyes of your soul. And that's what your soul is saying on the inside. Oh, thank God. Thank God I have this freedom. Thank God I'm free from this dynamic. Thank God, because it's, it wasn't good for me, and so on and so forth. So that was a lot. Let's see, is there anything more that Spirit wants to say? Yeah, Wheel of Fortune with the High Priestess. There is this level at which Spirit is saying at some point, for some of you watching, that's already the case, but you're going to have a high level of foresight in terms of the changes and an evolution in your life. So because we're working at the level of the soul, and one of the levels of the soul is the higher mind, which is all about conception. So when we conceive of something, we're also creating it. We're also seeding it to be manifested. And so it's very important that you understand what's going on. So awareness is a necessary part of this journey. I love it. 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 This is not a journey that is going to unfold behind closed doors, or that you're not going to know what's going on. Or at least it's not intended to. The less you know, the more difficult and painful it will be. But basically, your Spirit is saying that part of this life purpose is the awakening of your consciousness, also of your awareness, so that you align with what is happening and have as beautiful and as blessed an experience as possible. And now, so look for that. Look for the knowledge and things that come, so that you can integrate it, body, mind, and soul, to really bring this clarity to you. You're not intended to go through this process blinded. You're intended to go through it with clarity, with awareness, and again with peace, because that's what clarity and awareness brings you. It's peace. And another message about body, mind, and soul, a lot of work on those levels. So we've talked about the mind, the higher mind, but this is also talking about body. A lot of body changes, a lot of part of the slowness of these processes is because the body has to keep up, and the body is the one that transmutes energy the slowest, and the body needs rest, and the body needs space. You might also have a lot of isolation on this path, to be in your own energy, and again to give yourself and your body the time to process energy, to digest what is going on, to digest the latest experiences, and to keep extracting that wisdom, and to keep learning, growing, and evolving. Now, at earlier stages in your life, and you can know this depending on how much this makes sense to you, right? So depending if you're watching this and you're nodding your head and going like, yep, that's what's going on in my life, or you're watching this and going like, oh god, no. Or even, what on earth is she talking about? The more clarity you have, the easier this is going to be. And the more clarity you have, the more you're going to step into this area, this space, again with the cutting energy, cutting away difficult energy. And you're going to step into an experience that is intended to be pleasurable. And Spirit really wanted me to reiterate that and end on that note, that you're doing all of this so that you can have a wonderful earthly experience for your soul. You're bringing in your soul, you're bringing in your light, but it is for the purposes of thriving in the world. It's for the purposes of pleasure, of expansion, of flow, a path of a flow of least resistance, right? It's to have the same experiences that other people have, this job, this family, this, that, but without the hassle and especially without the compromise of what you need at a soul level in order to thrive within that, right? So for example, if you are intended to be married, you're intended to have the kind of union that is a soul connection, and not a kind of relationship where there is, at worst, abuse, or even just at a personal level, there's just not a match, or anything without a soul connection is to your soul feels detrimental, right? It's not nourishing. So it's about you merging those levels, and that's also part of what you are here to do. And the Spirit is saying that also, that's the completion. That's you taking all of the knowledge that you've developed as a soul, taking all of it, putting it together, and being able to manifest a human life where you have tons of soul presence. Do you see these eyes here? There's presence in those eyes. You're here, you're present, you have your energy, you're clear, and you're able to thrive in the world. You don't have to run off to a nunnery or an ashram in order to have peace. You don't have to sever your ties with the world as we used to do in past lives and in earlier times in order to develop and grow as a soul and spiritually. You don't need to do that anymore. You're going to do this right here, right where you are in your life, in whatever iteration of your life, but in a way that matches the soul. But you're going to do it in a way where it's pleasurable. You're connected into the world. You're staying here with us in the world, watching YouTube videos, and then having the same process at the same time, which by the way is absolutely amazing and unheard of in prior eras. So amazing, again amazing. I kind of can't believe that was your message, or I'm giving out these messages. So takeaway for this reading, we've got stay true and be in your power. You are a sovereign divine being with spiritual authority and freedom within. You do not need permission from anyone to be who you are and live your life as you so choose. This is your divine birthright. Guard it as this precious treasure that it is, and remember that you are a divine being free to be you exactly. This is the lifetime. This is your space. This is your life purpose, is to be you as a soul in this world, thriving and living your best life. So love, that was the reading. Thank you so much for watching. I do have, now that I think about it, there is a reading here on the channel that is called something like soul growth is needed to live your best life. So you may want to check that out. Otherwise, in general, that was the reading. I hope that it served you. I hope that you gained more clarity, more peace, more centeredness from this reading. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. If you're interested in my work and the processes that I have developed, also I've developed a system called the Co-Creative Healing System, which is amazing, my life purpose, right? So if that interests you, all the information is in the description box. If you would like to know more about me and my work in general, also in the description box. Sending you lots of love, wishing you all the best, happy life purpose, and I'll be seeing you around. Bye bye. Hi, love. Hello to those of you who have chosen the third pile. Welcome to your life purpose reading. We've got a very, very, very interesting reading here. They all have been, but wow. Okay, so let's run through the cards and then I get to share the good stuff. We've got Mama Kia, Mandala of the Moon, as the overall energy. We have got the Three of Cups with compassion, Major Arcana number 9, Oracle with Goddess Yamaya. We have Knight of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, Silver Lunar Dragon. We've got Message in a Bottle, upside down, staying focused. And we've got the Crown Chakra, so love. Your life purpose is to manifest something very grand, something very, very grand. So much so that she has to open up her arms just to let it peek through, right? And we have this beautiful, beautiful image here of the mandala. You see how intricate it is, how many colors there are, and many different levels to it. There's a whole pattern here. It's a whole thing. And we have the movement of the moon. So your life purpose is to manifest something very grand, very beautiful, very colorful, something very rich, and something very rewarding. Very, very rewarding at a soul level for you also. Now, Mama Kia is a card that also talks about feminine energy and manifestation through attraction. And we do have a card here, Silver Lunar Dragon does say, bathes you in divine feminine light. Come into balance and practice peace, harmony, and cooperation. Expand your causal chakra. And all of that applies. So the thing is that with the divine feminine energy, it is about growth and evolution to match what you're manifesting. You see how she's opening her arms here? This is you needing to grow and to evolve, to be aligned with what you're manifesting. And because you have that growth process, it takes time. Moons are passing. So you may be someone who knows already what you're here to manifest, what your life purpose is, and this is much more about you being here to hear about how to manage, that this whole why is it taking so long and so forth. There's also a reading about that here on the channel. Or you're someone who is going to find out your life purpose in a slower process. Basically, this whole reading is talking about how your life purpose takes time. It takes time. But why? Because it's so beautiful. It's so intricate. It's so rich. Can you imagine, even the artist who drew this, how much time to put in every single color, every single line of this whole, even just to sketch it. There are so many different levels to the creation, to the manifestation. And this is talking about how all of those levels have their importance and how much they are linked to your personal growth and evolution. So these two cards speak to that also. Three of Cups, compassion, and this 9, Major Arcana number 9 with the Oracle. So this is talking about the growth that you need to realize, especially in order to align with your life purpose. These are just going to be staples. They're always going to be present on your path and on your journey. Three of Cups is minor arcana energy, so that for me is everyday life, our personality level, and this is the soul level with the major arcana. So there's some soul growth and evolution with the Oracle, where you're learning how to listen to your voice, listen to your soul, where you're learning also to be guided according to the deeper knowing of your soul. This is speaking to a knowing that arises within you, and the ability that you need to develop to distinguish between your own personal voice, the voice of your personality, your psyche, your psychology, and the voice of your soul. And it has to be something that is very, very clear in this manifestation, so that when the manifestation comes, you're going to be able to stay focused. You're going to be able to stay on path with what the manifestation is. With the message in a bottle upside down, it's talking about how this is something that's currently blocked, right? Where as you're moving, there's always going to be some degree to which you're not hearing your soul fully, and so you're going to be evolving. We're talking about a dynamic that's always going to be unfolding in your life to some degree, right? Sometimes we can be completely off the path and we're really not hearing our soul, and sometimes we are in the path, but maybe our soul is leading us in a different direction. But it's very important that you open this line of communication and that you keep it clear and steady and present, especially when you have the manifestation, because it's going to be very, very important that you stay on path. For example, imagine you're building something, you're an amazing creation, it comes into reality, and let's say with the Ten of Pentacles, you become incredibly wealthy. If your soul voice is not developed enough, you could lose your path, lose your way. Maybe you're intended to get that money so that you do something with it that benefits the greater good, but you're getting caught up, and then you start maybe spending it on all kinds of things. You buy a yacht. There you go. That seems to be the thing to do. You buy a yacht, and then you're off target, you're off path. And so in order to avoid that, the voice of your soul has to be very, very strong. Another example could be you're growing, evolving as a soul. You're intended to meet a certain person, start a project, start a family, do something together. But if the voice of your soul is not strong enough, you might meet that person and think they're weird, or you might reject them when the time comes for all kinds of reasons, right? And that's the point. There's very much an energy of you being guided and you being very, very, yeah, okay, I see it. Very, very precious, also very valued and highly regarded as a soul level to even have this path. But what you're going to create is very, very important. So it is protected. It is protected. And the more you listen to the voice of your soul, the more you also will know that it is so, and you also will glide in that direction. And it's very important, because you might think, oh, let me just manifest it. You know, I can't say it enough, so I'm going to say it again. Spirit is having me say it again. It's very, very, very important that you arrive at that success, at that crowning moment with your soul voice intact. I'm seeing it installed. You know, when you get your computer, the software is installed on the computer. It's the same way. You have to arrive at that success intact. That's the word that's coming in, intact, whole, having this as a part of you, the soul communication, because the manifestation is not the end, it's the beginning. What you're manifesting, this big enterprise, this big creation, this big manifestation, is actually not the end goal. It's the starting point. It's the base that you need, because from then on, Knight of Wands, something new begins. Once you have this in your life, it's going to activate something inside of you, passion, drive, movement forward. It's like literally, yeah, if you've been building let's say you're building a podium and you spend all your time building the podium gets done, you step on the podium and you have a higher perspective. You can see things differently. You can see things that maybe you couldn't see a couple of minutes before. You can reach something, you can reach higher. And this is talking about you arriving through this manifestation at the ability to reach passionately for something, and passionately from your soul. That's why, also because it's your soul that wants this. And so you need to be in a space where you're going to hear it and where you're going to want it. You're going to pursue it. If it showed up in your life today, you would not pursue it. But from a soul level, when you have the right level of awakening and you've grown and you've evolved in alignment with what you're creating, right? That's also growing and evolving. The timing comes together, convergence, boom, and then off you go, and it is going to be tremendously, tremendously successful. Whatever you create and whatever journey you go on, also, it will be with you for the rest of your life. This is something that you will be getting for keeps, as the expression goes. This is not something that you can lose. This is not something that you can ruin, and that's also why you're taking the time. When you get it, when you manifest it, when you're in it and you're pursuing it with all the passion of your soul, it's almost like that energy just stabilizes it and protects it and keeps it in your life for the long term, for the long haul. It can change in manifestation, right? There are 10 pentacles. Each pentacle is a little bit different, but it's still a pentacle. So whatever you're manifesting, you can change and evolve, right? You're going to keep evolving with it. Spirit did speak to this being a lifelong journey of evolution. So you can still evolve in it, but it's still going to be the same thing. And it's still going to be in your life, bringing a tremendous amount of success, prosperity, abundance. Maybe for some of you, literally riches, wealth. Absolutely, absolutely. Plenty, plenty. There's plenty more where it came from. And again, there's that notion that this is just the beginning, that it's like you get one pentacle and it allows you to open the chest and find the rest. But in this pursuit with the crown chakra, you're going to be guided. You are going to be guided, and really Spirit is saying right now you're being guided. It's a matter of whether or not you can hear it, but you are guided, and you're going to be guided every step of the way. I know I am a part of Source, and my life is guided by divine wisdom. That's why you need this growth and this evolution, so that you can move later on. When you're there, you can keep being guided by Spirit. There's some energy of inherent dangers, of inherent corruptions, especially to the soul, and that's why the soul voice. There are things in your situation that could quiet the soul, things that could get you to just like close the, it's like, for example, you get all these pentacles and then you become afraid that somebody's going to steal them, so you close the chest so that nobody sees them, and then you don't use them because you're afraid, right? It's that kind of energy. People who become very rich and then who become very greedy or very wanting to control others, or people who become very famous and become very egocentric or something. It's something like that. There's something, of course, not every person, right? And that's the point. It's for you to not be part of the cliche. There is something in what you're going to have, what you're attaining to, that has the potential to throw you off course, to throw you off plan. And I'm getting, I hope that this really makes sense, but it's different for every person reading. For some of you, you're really going to need to be on Spirit's plan, and Spirit wants you to create something very specific, and it's going to guide you step by step. There's a destiny involved, when those are the the considerations and the dynamics. We are on a destiny path. There's a destiny involved. There's other people involved, soul contracts, all that stuff. So it's very important that you stay on path. And then for others of you, it's much more the inherent danger in what you're getting and how to navigate that so that you don't lose it, right? You put a lot of work into manifesting it and having it, and that's why you're growing and evolving, so that when you have it, you can handle it. You can thrive in it, and also at a basic level, you can enjoy it. Now, for some of you, and again, you can know to whatever degree, this message is not welcome. Message in a bottle. You may have been hearing it left and right, or getting it reiterated. It's going to take some time. It's not coming right now, and so on and so forth. And it's not welcome. And I can totally, completely relate with that. But the message is, Spirit is saying that it's time for you to shift that. It's time for you to maybe hear it in a different way, in the sense that to hear and to understand why things are unfolding in this way, and to really take in the fact that it's happening from a place of compassion. It is for your highest good. It is for you. It is working for you. It's Spirit orchestrating things. It's your soul growing and evolving, making things happen, your higher self manifesting your life in a way that is intended to serve you. It's intended to benefit you. And, with the little dragon here, there's lots of us in the same boat. So there's also an aspect of you not feeling, taking it personally, not feeling ostracized, not feeling like you're not good enough, or you're failing in some way, or you're not really living up to the potential of this, that you're doing something wrong in some way, shape, or form. You're really not. You're really, really not. And again, lots of us are in the same boat, and will be, because we're in times of tremendous soul growth and evolution on the planet in general. You're not doing anything wrong. You're really not. And the part of the personal growth that you need to realize is to realize that, to have compassion for yourself, to understand that it's it's difficult. You know, you're in a difficult position. You're on a difficult kind of journey. Not everybody can hold this kind of energy at a soul level, let alone at a human level, right? In our personality, in our conception. It's hard enough without you making it harder on yourself. That's the message. That's what Spirit is saying. You making it harder for yourself isn't going to make things go faster. It's like when, with all due respect, but it's like when a child throws a temper tantrum thinking that the parent is going to change their mind. Well, Spirit isn't that kind of parent. You know, what was done was lovingly done, and so it won't be undone in the face of a response from you or a reaction from you that is not self-loving, right? So Spirit is bringing forth love. If you're hurting yourself over it or hurting over the situation, then that's not loving for you, and Spirit isn't going to give up its loving plans and disposition towards you based on your lack of self-love towards yourself, right? Love leads to love. Love is creative, not the other way around. And so again, I'm there with you 100%. I been there, done that. And it's really that thing of learning. I'm still learning this, actually, to learn not to make it harder on yourself, because it is what it is. It really is what it is. And if you can understand that it is done lovingly and for the purposes of really getting you what you want, because fundamentally, if you don't grow and evolve in this way, you will get it, but you won't be able to keep it. It won't stay around. Part of your wish is for this to endure. Part of your wish maybe is to pass this on to your kids, to future generations, even to all of humanity. It's not going to happen unless you grow and evolve into a position where you can handle it. And again, not because you're not enough, not because you're not smart enough, you're not kind enough, you're not patient enough, you're not true enough, you're not enough of whatever you could think. That's not the reason why. You don't have to grow because you're not enough. You have to grow because you are more. At a soul level, you're more than you currently know yourself to be, more than you currently embody. And at a soul, you're always going to be more than your personal level. That's just the nature of things. It's the way things are. And you're being guided to accept that, allow that, embrace that also. And with this card is saying, come into balance and practice peace, harmony, and cooperation. This doesn't have to hurt. This does not have to hurt. And just because it's difficult, it doesn't have to hurt. And just because it is, you're being maybe denied what you want here and now, it's not manifest, it's not here with you. First of all, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. But secondly, or that it won't happen. But especially, it doesn't mean that it has to hurt. It absolutely does not. And that's what Spirit wants you to guide. That would be the advice in this reading. Find a way to not make it hurt. Practice peace, harmony, and cooperation in the situation. Work with it as opposed to fighting it. And then you're going to be able to stay so much more focused and so much more on point. Because what Spirit is saying is that you also have to consider that if you are in a position where you're fighting the process, then you're not growing as you would want to. And you yourself are actually pushing back, pushing against. You are belittling. There's another word for it, but I can't get it right now. But you're making your dream come later. You are, I can't find the exact word, but that's kind of the energy of it. It's almost like you know what it is, you know what you want, but then you can't access it. You can't access it because you're not coming at it from the right place. You need to grow and evolve your connection to your soul, but you also need to grow and evolve your personality, grow in maturity, grow in acceptance, grow in allowance, grow in peace, harmony, cooperation. It's just part and parcel, and it's part of the journey, and it's not going to change. It is what it is. This is your life purpose for a reason. Now with the crown chakra, this is something that when you accept it, the more you're in this energy, the more you know you're in alignment, and the more you know you're going to be close to this manifestation. To truly release it, open hands, surrender it, and to feel connected to source and feel like you're being guided, feel like you're on a path that makes sense. It's wise. It's wise. It's like, oh yes, thank you so much for that lesson. Boy, did I need that lesson for where I'm headed. Thank you so much for taking all of this time in my life and energy for me to grow and evolve, so that when I get there, I'm going to have the best way possible. And Spirit is also saying that you're going to be able, it's part of staying focused, hold the course, you know where you're headed. So if you need this lesson along the way, if you need the skill along the way, it tells you more about where you're headed. It allows you to look into it much more deeply and to understand it much more profoundly, and therefore to do so much better once you get there. And you will get there. And you will get there. Now, I'm getting this message that for some of you, again, it's something big. It's something huge, but in a general sense, it is your way of manifesting. So that's also part of the life purpose. It's learning how to manifest this. And the more you are able to be at peace with it and to own it, and again, see the wisdom and the beauty in it, the more it's just going to work for you. The more Spirit is saying the moons are going to get shorter and shorter. The cycles are going to get shorter and shorter, necessarily so, because again, once you get there, there's going to be more to do. So love, that was your reading. And this is a takeaway for this reading. We've got truths unveiled. And it says, there are times when appearances of people, places, and things are deceptive. You will sense this when something feels uncomfortable within you, when you notice feelings of anxiety or doubt within you. You may think there is something wrong with you, but actually you are intuitively sensing that all is not as it appears to be. Trust what you feel, not what appears to be. Exactly, exactly. You are on this path. You have this life purpose. You're manifesting something amazing, something beautiful, something grand that, each person here can't imagine what the other person is manifesting. It's that unique to each and every single one of you. And Spirit wants you to know and to acknowledge that it's the process. It's not you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not doing anything wrong. You just have to learn how to work with this process, how to work with your life purpose, how to lean into your soul's path in this lifetime. So love, that was your reading. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that it has served you. I hope that it has blessed you. I hope that it will help you gain more peace, harmony, and cooperation. I am sending you so much love, wishing you all the best. If you would like to know more about me, then my information is in the description box, including the process that I have developed, the co-creative healing system that I'm so proud of, that might help you on your path. And otherwise, subscribe. More readings will be coming. Sending you lots of love. Wishing you all the best always. May you be blessed always and in all ways. And so it is. Bye.